put, hence you have it already, and there's a colon that follows. It is telling you that there is something that follows, which is that the bill be read a third time and pass. You know, if you want to have it as a heading, you can still remove the colon. If you remove that colon, then you can have it as a sentence.
Now, what I'm saying is, question put and agreed to does not mean, it's not in full. So you are either saying we remove it and continue with question put that the bill be read a third time and pass. Or you want it this way, question put and agreed to that the bill be read a third time and pass. Huh?
Yes, thank you very much. The last one you read, that is exactly how I want it. Thank you.
Honorable members. Huh? Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Thursday, 2nd November 2023 be approved with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you, honorable members. Clerk, may we proceed?
Laying of papers and reports. Report of the Auditor General on the audited financial statement of the central government of the Gambia for the year ended 31st December 2020. Thank you. By the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs.
Honorable members, may I now invite the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs to lay the report of the Auditor General on the audited financial statements of the central government of the Gambia for the year ended 31st December 2020.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members of the National Assembly, members of the press, staff of the Ministry of Finance, particularly the Accountant General. I am pleased to lay before this August National Assembly the audited financial statements of the Government of the Gambia for the financial year ended 31st December 2020. The financial statements consist of accounts that are under the control of the Accountant General's Department and do not include full transactions of the state-owned enterprise, self-accounting projects, and local governments. These entities are audited separately by external auditors through the Office of the Auditor General. The financial statements comprise of the following: consolidated statement of cash receipts and payments following the IPSA, International Public Sector Accounting Standards, statement of revenue and expenditure, consolidated revenue fund, detailed revenue and expenditure comparison, accounting policies, and explanatory notes. The financial statements also contain additional information as required by Section 63 of the Public Finance Act 2014 and Part 2 of the cash basis of IPSAS. Basis of the preparation. Honorable Speaker, the financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the following legal and regulatory frameworks. 1. The 1997 Constitution, Public Finance Act 2014, Financial Regulations of 2016, International IPSAS cash basis. As you may be aware, there is a strong drive for the governments to adopt international best practice Thus, the government of the Gambia adopted the International Public Sector Accounting Standard, otherwise known as IPSAS, as the basis for preparing its financial statements. The adoption of IPSAS is a necessary element in strengthening the governance framework and enhancing transparency. Thus, it has enabled the setting up of appropriate minimum benchmarks for discharge of accountability and transparency, the provisions of a framework against which audit is undertaken, and allows improved quality and comparability of financial information reported by the public sector against performance of other countries that have adopted IPSAS. 3. Issues raised by the Auditor General and the actions taken to remedy them. Honorable Speaker, the government has taken necessary measures to address the issues arising from the audit of the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2020. Details of the actions taken are provided in the management letter of the Auditor General. Additional information or documents and further clarifications on the unresolved issues are being collated and will be shared with the National Audit Office. Continuous improvements in the preparation and audit of government financial statements. Honorable Speaker, there has been considerable improvements in the timely preparation and audit of government financial statements in the recent past. The government financial statements have been prepared up to 2022. The audit of the 2021 government financial statements is currently ongoing, while the preparation of the 2022 accounts has just been concluded, ready for submission to the National Audit Office. This is a clear demonstration of our commitment towards the attainment of in-year reporting, whereby the Auditor General can perform continuous audit of government activities. The Rwanda IFMIS initiatives. Following the implementation of the IFMIS system that has been in use for almost 2 decades, the government continues to explore and adopt strategies to ensure its sustainability, as well as reduce the dependency on the international consultants. In this vein, the government of the Gambia is collaborating with the government of Rwanda to come up with a homegrown IFMIS system. Asset management policy. The government of the Gambia, through the support from AFRICTAC West 2 of the IMF, has developed an asset management policy for use throughout government. This will, to a great extent, serve as an important pillar towards migrating to IPSAS accruals, and it will also support the management of tangible and intangible assets of the government. Treasury Single Account. The implementation of the Treasury Single Account, through which all government bank accounts will be consolidated at the Central Bank of the Gambia, has successfully been implemented. This has been extended to semi-autonomous institutions such as the National Assembly, Judiciary, National Audit Office, and National Human Rights Commission. This has fully eliminated cash or check payments. The Treasury Single Account will enhance the government cash position, thereby reducing domestic borrowing. A key tool to support the Treasury Single Account is the implementation of a revenue collection platform, which is at an advanced stage. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, we say that over the past years, the government has been implementing a series of public financial management reforms. This has resulted in the overall improvement in the quality of public financial management services delivered by the government. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker and August Assembly, please allow me to once again thank all the players in the public financial management cycle, from policy formulation and implementation, for the quality oversight function of the National Assembly is continuously discharging. On this note, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, any seconder? Yes, Honorable Member for Upper Nyomi.
Honorable Speaker, thank you so much. I like to second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded. The Auditor General's findings are a critical tool in upholding the principles of transparency, accountability, and good governance, which are the cornerstones of our parliamentary democratic system. The Auditor General's office plays a pivotal role in ensuring that public funds are utilized efficiently and in accordance with established regulations. The report, a product of meticulous examination and audit procedures, provides us with insights into the financial health of our government, revealing areas of success and areas that demand our immediate attention. I commend the Auditor General and his dedicated team for their unwavering commitment to conducting thorough and impartial audits. Their work is instrumental in fostering public trust and confidence in the governance stewardship of public resources. Honorable members, as you are aware, that this is an important report that requires thorough consideration by this Assembly. For that reason, and by convention of this Assembly, I will therefore kindly invite any honorable member to move a motion to commit the report to the relevant committee of the National Assembly for further consideration and report made thereupon. Any honorable member? The honorable member for Olyundum constituency.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move that the report of the Auditor General for the financial statement of the government of the Gambia for year ended 31st December 2020 to be referred to the Committee of FPAC for further scrutiny. Thank you.
Honorable members, any seconder? Honorable member for Central Badibu.
I rise to second it.
Honorable member, it has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do commit the report of the Auditor General on the audited financial statements of the Central Government of the Gambia for the year ended 31st December 2020 to the Finance and Public Accounts Committee. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The report is therefore committed to FPAC. Honorable members of FPAC, I want to remind ourselves as we consider the findings presented in the Auditor General's report. Let us approach this task with a sense of duty and responsibility as usual. The recommendations and observations contained in the report serve as a roadmap for corrective measures and improvements in our financial management systems. It is therefore imperative that we, as representatives of the people, carefully examine the report, engage in constructive discussions, and collaborate to address any discrepancies or concerns highlighted by the Auditor General. This process underscores our commitment to ensuring that taxpayer funds are utilized judiciously and in the best interest of our citizens. I urge all honorable members of this Assembly to approach this task with the seriousness it deserves, recognizing the importance of the Auditor General's role in promoting fiscal responsibility and accountability. Let us work together to implement necessary reforms and safeguards, ensuring that our government operates with the highest standards of integrity. Honorable members, may our deliberations be guided by the principles of transparency, accountability, and the overarching goal of serving the best interests of the citizens we represent. I thank you all. Clerk, can we proceed?
Motion. Section 152(1) of the 1997 Constitution and Standing Order 86(1), laying of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the fiscal year 2024, 1st January to 31st December 2024, both dates inclusive, by the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs.
Honorable members, may I invite the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs to table the estimates of revenue and expenditure of the government of the Gambia for the period 1st January to 31st December 2024, both days inclusive. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker and members of the National Assembly, members of the press, staff of the Ministry of Finance, and particularly the Budget Directorate, I would like to submit for consideration and approval by the National Assembly the estimates of revenue, recurrent, and development expenditures for the Republic of the Gambia for the fiscal year 2024. Honorable Speaker, the legal basis for today's event, that is the tabling of the 2024 budget estimates before the National Assembly, is anchored on the 1997 Constitution and the Public Finance Act 2014. Section 152(1) amended of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia places an obligation on His Excellency the President to instruct the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs to prepare and submit to the National Assembly at least 60 days before the end of each financial year the estimates of revenue and expenditures of the Gambia for the following year. The amendment will take effect in the 2025 fiscal year. Furthermore, Section 21(1) of the Public Finance Act equally requires the Minister to lay before the National Assembly the appropriation bill documents, and Section 24 of the same Act specify the contents of the appropriation bill documents. Consequently, these relevant documents are now incorporated in the 2024 estimates of revenues and expenditure. It is also worth to note that in the light of the foregoing, the Public Finance Act provides under Section 27 thereof for the National Assembly to appoint temporarily or permanently a core team of technical staff to assist in gathering information, making research and analysis on issues pertinent to its deliberation and resolution on the budget submitted by the Minister of Finance. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs is responsible for the overall coordination and formulation of the annual budget in line with both the Constitution and the Public Finance Act 2014. The 2024 budget is anchored on the reduction of the overall fiscal deficit, including the gradual reduction of the net domestic borrowing as a percentage of the GDP over the medium term. For this reason, the Ministry intends to pursue rationalization of expenditures, improving domestic resource mobilization, and innovative non-debt revenue creating initiatives such as asset recycling program, restructuring the debt profile to reduce the burden of the debt, and focusing on concessional financing of infrastructure projects identified in the Green Recovery Focused National Development Plan, otherwise branded as YIRIWA. The NDP is now branded as YIRIWA to reflect the development that it will usher in upon its implementation. As a result, the draft 2024 budget estimate has been prepared based on the objective of consolidating recovery and accelerating reforms to build economic resilience and improve the well-being from the pandemic was underway, but slightly higher than the 2023. This steady growth performance results from the spillover effects of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which has severely dampened the growth prospects. Previously, projections have been revised downwards owing to the increasing interest rates to counter the rising price levels. Real GDP growth is projected at 4.8% in 2023. On sector-specific growth outlooks, agriculture is projected to continue on its growth path, reaching 8.3% in 2023 compared to 3.6% in 2022, primarily supported by crop production, fishing, and aquaculture. The growth prospect for the industry sector is estimated to increase to 7.4% in 2023 from 3% in 2022. Mainly supported by electricity and construction. On the service sector, growth is expected to subdue at 2.5% in 2023, with rebound activities in tourism and wholesale and retail trade subsector. Tourism is expected to recover from the COVID-19 disruption by 2026, when the arrival of tourists is expected to reach pre-COVID arrival levels. Tighter global financial conditions in response to multi-decade highs in global inflation rate is adversely affecting the country's macroeconomic fundamentals, generating foreign exchange shortages, weighing on foreign exchange reserves, and exerting pressure on the dollar. To aggravate the situation, the balance of payment is negatively affected by the high food and fuel import bills, disruption of the cashew exports, and elevated freight costs. To this end, the Central Bank of the Gambia conducted foreign currency intervention of close to $139.44 million in 2022 to ease supply-side constraint and support the importation of essential commodities that reach critically low stock levels. In addition, strong domestic demand combined with high food and energy price fueled by the war in Ukraine added to strengthening inflationary pressures in the country. Inflation reached a record high of 18.5% year-on-year in September 2023, but it has recently declined to 18% as of end of October 2023. This elevated inflationary pressure stems from both food and non-food commodities. Monetary policy in this context was geared towards tackling price hikes, with the central bank further raising its policy rate to 17 percentage points in August 2023. In terms of the outlook, growth is projected to moderately rebound to 4.9% in 2024 and strengthen further in the medium term at an average of 6.1% growth per year. Going forward, agricultural sector is expected to be the main driver of growth in the medium term. As the West grapples with the spillover effects of the war in Ukraine, lower real incomes and high interest rates are creating volatility and affecting the prospect for tourism and trade. Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to update this August Assembly on the status of the budget execution for the first 3 quarters of 2023 and the outlook for the remaining part of the year. The overall budget execution for the first 3 quarters of representing a 1% decrease compared to 2023. Similarly, capital expenditures are expected to decline by 12%. The decline in the budget for both goods and services and capital expenditures are associated with the decline in project grant disbursement from 2023 to 2024. This is mainly explained by the over-projection of project grants, which has been largely corrected for in 2024. The largest allocation of the expenditure budget, apart from the debt service, which consume about 26% of the expenditure budget, is to education. And the combined allocation to this sector, both the highest basic education and higher education, comprises more than 15% of the expenditure budget. This is necessary to invest in the human capital, now dividend of our youthful population. The infrastructure deficit of the country is huge, and hence this sector attracts the second largest share of the budget, while the health and the agriculture follow closely. The thrust of the expenditure turbulent times. Meanwhile, subsidy and transfers, which include subventions, are projected to increase by 599 million to 4.96 billion in 2024 compared to 4.3 billion approved for 2023. This increase is partly due to the increase in subvention for the GRA on the backdrop of anticipated higher revenue collections, Ministry of Health, hospitals, schools, GBOS for the national census, and the inclusion of new subventions to MCC Compact Coordination Office, Victims Commission, SOE Commissions. Input subsidies for fertilizer also increased by $100 million. Goods and services from domestically financed resources increased by 34% from 4.08 billion in 2023 to 5.48 billion in 2024. The significant increase in goods and services is as a result of the increased funding for land compensation for roads and Nawek solar power project, post-OIC activities, travel expenses of the National Assembly, and the consultancy service related to public works. Furthermore, the contribution to the Gambia River Basin OMVG of $150 million and the hospital drugs of $240 million are also contributing factors. Overall, capital expenditure, including donor funds, is expected to decrease by 12% to 11.76 billion in 2024, mainly as a result of projected decrease in project grants disbursement. However, government funding of infrastructure and related investment is projected to increase by 30% from 2.5 billion in 2023 to 3.26 billion in 2024. This includes anticipated payment for ongoing infrastructure works, including relocation of services and related works. The table below indicates the expenditure categories and their distribution. Debt service interest payments is projected to be 5.11 billion in 2024 from 2.19 billion in 2023, representing an increase of 76%. Overall debt service interest payment and plus foreign amortization is projected to reach 7.49 billion in 2024. The increase in the debt service for 2024 is as a result of the large increase in the interest payments due to increase in the monetary policy rate, in the monetary policy committee rate to a high of 17%, which translates to higher interest payments on the 30-year bond and other domestic debts and the anticipated rollover of other government securities. Honorable Speaker, the 2024 budget deficit will be financed mainly from domestic financing and borrowing from our development partners. In a sense, the gross deficit is estimated to reach 2.55% of the GDP compared to 3.59% of the GDP. This is a deficit reduction of 29% from the 2023 budget compared to 2024. This deficit reduction strategy will be sustained in the near term in order to reduce the elevated debt levels. The debt to GDP ratio was about 83% in 2022 and is now on a downward trend, and the deficit reduction strategy anchored on a reduction. The table below shows the details of the financing team. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, it is important to note that the global economic and geopolitical developments coupled with climate change has exposed the world economy in general and the Gambian economy in particular to polycrisis and hence the challenges of the economic management. However, we expect a stronger economy with gradual decline in inflation as inflation-fighting strategies of both the monetary and fiscal policies begin to take effect in a heightened global inflation environment. The planned decline in the fiscal deficit as a percentage of the GDP over time will help to reduce the overall debt ratio in the medium term, which will be supported by strong domestic resource mobilization and containment of expenditures. The reforms and enhanced public financial management environment will be embedded throughout the implementation of the budget to ensure that the development priorities of investing in human capital development and infrastructure are realized. On this note, I hereby submit the draft estimates of revenue and expenditure for the fiscal year 2024 for the consideration and approval of this August Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, any seconder? Honorable Member for Old Yundum.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion and equally thank the Minister for Finance for tabling the estimates for the 2024 budget of the Republic of the Gambia. We thank you for tabling the budget, Honorable Minister, and I hope you'll do diligence to the budget during our debate. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Old Yundum. Honorable members, the estimates of revenue and expenditure is an important document. This pivotal moment not only marks a significant event in the fiscal calendar, but also sets the course for economic trajectory of our nation. It sets out the macroeconomic variables of the country in relation to revenue and expenditure of the Gambia and the programs it intends to execute to improve the conditions of the lives of the citizens for the year under review. The tabling of the annual budget is a solemn duty that reflects the collective aspirations and responsibilities of our government. It is a comprehensive roadmap that outlines the financial priorities and strategies to address the needs and challenges facing our citizens. As custodians of public trust, we are entrusted with the task of allocating resources judiciously, ensuring that the budget reflects the values and priorities of our diverse populations. Our nation stands at a crucial juncture, facing both opportunities and challenges that demand a pragmatic, forward-looking approach. The annual budget serves as a tool to foster economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. It is a reflection of our commitment to providing essential services, investing in infrastructure, and fostering an environment conducive to innovation and progress of the Finance Ministry and all stakeholders involved in the formulation of this budget. Crafting a budget is a complex and delicate process that requires careful consideration of diverse interests and perspectives. The budgetary allocations must strike a delicate balance between the immediate needs of our citizens and the long-term goals of sustainable development. In the spirit of transparency and accountability, I encourage all members of this August Assembly to scrutinize the budget thoroughly, engage in constructive debates, and contribute their insights to ensure that the final budget reflects the collective wisdom of this Assembly. Cognizant of this reality and of the provisions of Order 86-6A and B of the Standing Orders, the sitting will be adjourned to give members adequate time to review the document. Honorable members, as per approved agenda of this ordinary session, the Assembly Business Committee has scheduled Monday, 27th November, and a Tuesday, 28th November 2023, for consideration and debate proper on the 2024 estimates, while the Committee of Supply will commence on Wednesday, 29th and Thursday, 30th November 2023. Before putting the question, honorable members, I want to announce for the general information of members that the pre-budget training retreat is scheduled for the period from tomorrow, Saturday, 18th November to 20th November 2023 at Bakadaji Hotel in Kololi, along the Barton Harding Highway. Accordingly, all honorable members are urged to take note of the scheduled dates for the retreat. The Office of the Clerk has sourced the services of various experts and technicians on budget analysis and training to help honorable members in their scrutiny role on the budget. Therefore, honorable members, it is important that we all attend this important retreat to enable us thoroughly scrutinize and digest this very important document. Honorable members, on that note, I now put the question. Be resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Monday, 27th November 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The Assembly now stands adjourned until Monday, 27th November 2023 at 10 a.m. prompt.
Finance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Albaka. Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyenje.
Okay. Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. Agada.
Bijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka.
Bare
ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Janno Yona Forest de Bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbali ya bere. Birim koyna fo katon.
Bari si kodo kino katon ni fo bolom blabe.
56 branches mola soto Gambia jam. Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nko kodo ki ya bere. Kodo sifa fo palindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to koto ni kodi maraw.
Janum number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata another enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi man domorol di fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moy odiat
apelenta barka
ni ma lafta nyelen kendol e bina
yalo bukani la ko la barka ba
yalo ndel ciosano
barka